Hey guys, good afternoon. I thought I would do a quick screencast with you today. Today for my small business, I was working on the plans for next year and 2021. So I'm in an Interrise class that the state of Virginia actually pays for. It's pretty great. It's about there's two cohorts of about 20 people each, and it's called the Streetwise MBA program, and it's a very intensive 3 hour class twice a month. All business owners from every walk of life, and the goal of the entire program is to create a 3 year growth plan. And here I am. It's funny, 7 years, going on 8 years in business, and I've never actually put down on paper a trajectory, a definitive goal, or even a how are we going to get there. We've always kind of been fly by the seat of our pants. Oh, we got to do this. Let's do that, and we'll work on that for a while. But there wasn't as much follow through, and so the more in your business that you can document things, number one, they give you something to look back on. Number two, it's sort of that manifesting. Once you put it out there on paper and put it out in the world and speak about it and tell people about it, uh, it actually can happen. But when it stays in your brain, it just kind of rolls around in there and never gets birthed into the world. So, um, anyway, I wanted to show you a little bit about my plan and an idea that I think can help you, because for me, what I've learned is, oh, sorry, let me get this off. So, for me, what I've learned is that I'm a visual learner, and so um, putting this down on paper and writing it is fine, but then I've figured out how to kind of time block this so that each month I will have different strategic initiatives going forward. That's a big word, strategic initiatives. Just the team will be organized and doing things. And the point of this plan is basically, if, as a small business owner, you always have to think about, well, what happens if something happens to you and you're not able to go to run the business? So, or even show up to the business. Will the business function? And that's really the number one thing that small business owners fail is pulling themselves out of the day to day and always operating at this very tactical, putting out each individual fire level. So your employees are never able to develop and grow, and you are trapped in this vicious cycle where you have to work harder and harder just to maintain, and you're never actually kind of getting out of the forest, to look down and go, wow, there's actually a better path if we go in this direction than just keeping our head down and trudging forward. So we could probably talk a lot more about that going forward, but that's a very uh, key point of owning a business is that you want to build up the team around you, and make the processes as documented and systematized as possible so that you can remove yourself from having to micromanage and feel like everything is not done the way you want it. A lot of times, the reason things aren't done the way you want is because you haven't shown them what the actual right way to do things is. So, so here's my plan, and the key things here are you want to have your goals, right? And then the action steps needed to take that to finish that goal. What success looks like, clearly defining, hey, this is when it's done. The specific dates that will do, who will, what are the time frame to do this action step, who on your team is responsible for it, and the financial implication. And this is really uh, the cost. That's what they're talking about, right? So again, you got your growth goal and then the steps. So one of our big goals is to understand our cost and improve our profits. I've been able to grow top line pretty well, not in COVID, but before COVID. But now I'm really focused on what is the business actually keeping now, because growing through the top line and leaking all that out through as like a sieve is just not effective. I figured out I can be actually probably more profitable with less sales if I just understand to the penny, the cost of each of my items. I mean, that's basic When you see that show, The Profit, that's what Marcus talks about with every single business owner. What are your costs? What are your costs? So you really got to understand that. So um, again, launching a virtual kitchen, for us, that's a big idea. So what I figured out though is here's my you can't see here, but I have it by years at the bottom of the sheet, and this is just a Google sheet that I have in my drive. Um, so I've got it color coded now by operations here, profitability, culture, and marketing. And those are really going to be our main kind of big strategic objectives. And then I've got them time blocked here. Like for January and February, we're going to work on creating a recipe for each preparation on our menu. And I know that we're done when 100% of our food preparation is completely documented, where it can be easily followed, handed to someone else without explanation, and then saved into our Dropbox for recipes. So um, this is just again, this is just an overview. I'm not even close to done, but this is what I'm working on today. Again, working on my business and not in my business, so that next year my team will have a very clear cut plan of how we're going to increase our productivity and increase our operations, how we'll be more profitable, what our marketing initiatives will be, and how are we going to develop our employee culture and our company culture. So hope you enjoyed the screencast. Again, if you like this and you want to learn more about a small business or catering or how to survive during COVID, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, post them down below.